Hello once again. Well, what's this we've got here? This is an Icom ICB1050 40 channel 2781 set back from 1982. Now these sets, a lot of them you see are not going to work, and they're not going to ever work because they get messed about with. One of the sets which could be very easily converted onto the 29 meg ham band. In fact, all you have to do is move two of those wires across, put a resistor in, put two links in underneath, and lo and behold, it's straight on 29 megs. And then of course you do a retune, and there's plenty of information on the web for doing that. Of course, the ones we get seen are all unfinished projects where they've wrecked the set. Now, my friend Chris said to me, will you do a video on the Icom ICB1050? And I said, yeah, I've got one in for repair. Well, it's in a batch of about 5 sets which are in for repair, which all use the same chassis. And I have to be honest, I've had to spend a lot of time doing this. I would have told the customer it was scrap, but because Chris wanted it doing, I have spent a couple of evenings sorting it out because it really has needed everything sorting out. Now, the JWRM2, it's the same as is a scrap chassis. Signal 1001. So that's another of its geysers. Here's another of the ones which is in for repair, a JWRM2. I don't know if you can see what it says on the top. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Rally £2. So that's where they got that one from. We've got an SMC 272, which is also the same chassis in for repair. A JWRM2 with holes in the case that rattles. And a JWRM2 with no screws in the case that doesn't rattle. And then, talking of scrap chassis, here's another one. And this is the Lucas version. The Lucas ACB888 also uses the same chassis. So, let's show you how the VCO is done on this. Now, what's unusual about this set is that if you're just having one quartz crystal as a reference for the synthesizer, it uses a Motorola MC145151, which is a general purpose synthesizer, and it has a receive and a transmit mixer crystal. So you've got 3 crystals. You've got 16.50625, 16.96125, and of course the 10.24 reference. And it all has to be right, otherwise they are a nightmare. Well, the first thing I had to do was to convert this back from being a 29 meg bodge, because they hadn't succeeded and they'd done a lot of damage. So the first thing you do is, the way the VCO is set is the synthesizer chip has a lock voltage on pin 8. So I'll just put the earth prod somewhere handy. These are all muddled up. And on pin 8, which is the dent there in the chip, always denotes pin 1. So we count down 8. It's an 18 pin chip, so we've got 9 down that side, so it's got to be that one. And as you can see, we've got 4.9 volts on the meter. When I go into transmit, we've got 4.9 volts on the meter because it's in lock. The VCO is coil 202. Now, every coil in this radio, in this type of radio, are filled with wax. So you have to go there with your soldering iron, poking down the thing very carefully to release the wax, so you can actually move it with your trimming tool. So that's how the VCO is set. it's pin 8 and you're looking for 4.9 volts. And I then check it on, I've done that on channel 20. Then we check it on channel 1 and look, I've got 4.8 volts, 4.9 on receive, 4.8 on transmit. And then on channel 40 we'll do the same again, 4.9 on transmit, on receive. I've got some nice acoustic feedback at 4.8 on transmit. So that is how it's done. So this set's used in lots of different chassis. They seem to work reasonably well. They certainly work well on transmit. And I remember we did some tests, and the test vehicle was 35 miles from the base station, and it was incredible how well it worked. I really did think it was a better set than what it was. It was quite a budget set. Now, what I noticed on this set, and this is a customer's as I've outlined, is someone's changed the filter, the 10.695 filter, for a crystal filter. Now normally it's company policy that things are modified back to standard. That is working, so that can stay on this occasion, because it'll pretty well bleed over boxes if you lived in a high CB usage area. These days, when there aren't that much users, especially where we are in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't matter how bad the set was for bleed over in 1982, we don't have that problem these days. So I'm going to leave it at that. The next video will be on tuning up the transmitter.